which I think he's trying hard to do. Michael, sit down, relax a little bit. Now, for the next few minutes, the usual speaker, Michael, will have no choice but to put down his multiple electronic devices, patiently wait his turn, and actually pay attention to me. Before I address Michael, our guest of honor, my best friend and life partner, I need to acknowledge the presence of all of you in this room tonight, because collectively, you represent the many stages of Michael's life, from birth to present day. You are his family, some of his oldest and newest friends, his business colleagues, and his confidants. Without all of you to support and love him, he would not be the man he is today. And even though this person did not want me to call her out, I must thank Alice for her endless hours she spent running around to make sure who's probably jumping out of his seat as he has undiagnosed ADD just But Michael, I think everyone in this room will unanimously agree that you love to be in the center of attention. But what most people don't realize, despite all the TV appearances, the news articles, the Facebook and Instagram posts, is that you are one of the most selfless and compassionate individuals to walk this earth. In our 24 years of marriage so far, you have been an auxiliary police officer, an EMT, an attorney, and a politician. The underlying theme of all of these titles is one of helping and protecting others. I have told you this privately, and now I will acknowledge publicly, that I believe one of the main reasons you are up all night responding to emails, besides soliciting clients, is that you can't go to sleep until you feel you have fulfilled your daily quota of good deeds for others. I don't know how many of us can say the same. Michael, you are the love of my life, the father of our 4 outstanding children, of whom we are both extremely proud. And I am blessed that I have joined you on one half of life's journey so far. No doubt you keep me on my toes with your whimsical fantasies and your constant need to find a new way to reinvent yourself. But that is what makes our life together exciting. From the time you so confidently approached me in the cafeteria, offering me your notes in law school, I knew that you were someone I wanted to spend my life with. I love you more with each passing year, and I look forward to all the wonderful things that await us. Before I call up Josh, who some might call Michael's mini-me, but really he's 6'3" and towers over Michael, who's going to be our MC for the evening, I'd like to ask Lauren and Jacqueline to join me. There are a few people who couldn't be here tonight who asked if we could please bring a short birthday greetings to Michael on behalf of them. And because they are important to Michael and in his life, we felt the need to address them. So Lauren and Jacqueline are going to help me read some notes from Steve Weinberg, from Louise, from his Uncle John, and from his good friend David Zed. So I'm going to start with Steve Weinberg, my partner. Michael, I wanted to send you a personal note as Helene and I are missing your birthday celebration, much to our disappointment. We spend so much time together, but rarely and unfortunately take the time to discuss our actual feelings. At this time, I want you to know that I have been privileged to be associated with your father for the last 4 years. As my mentor and partner during this time, and he has expressed to me on many occasions how proud he is of you and how your many accomplishments have been so impressive. As I have told him, and I now want to convey to you, I as well have the utmost regard and respect for you as a friend and a confidant. Your drive, compassion, and dedication are most universally admired. Your success comes from your tireless efforts to defend those who are most defenseless, while your notoriety grows for the famous you represent and call amongst your friends. Your children are a blessing, and the fact that they want to follow you in your footsteps only confirms the admiration and love that they have for you.
What can I say to you, Michael? You're like a second son to me, and I love you like a son. I remember when you were born, and from 5 months old, I took care of you and loved you every minute. It was real fun. I remember when your parents were away and you were tricycling down Yellowstone Boulevard, and I was pushing Mark in the carriage and saw you roll down the hill and falling. I felt so bad and cried every night until you got better. I watched you grow into a wonderful man, and I'm so proud of everything you have done. I love you, family all very much. Happy birthday, Michael. Love, Lucy. And this one's from your uncle, John, that lives in Denver. Michael, you may be younger, faster, and even smarter than I am, but you'll never catch up to me. Happy great birthday. Love to all.
Everyone bear with me, I'm not the best reader in the family. This is from David Zedek, your best friend. Michael, as someone who has shared birthday weeks with you from our 20s, 30s, and 40s, I feel fortunate to be able to say a few words on your 50th. What words do you use to describe Michael? Loyal, kind, generous, special, funny, quirky, dedicated. The list can go on and on, but let's just pick one. Mitch. If there was a picture next to the word in the dictionary, it would be of Michael. The true definition is someone with integrity, which we all know Michael has, but there are 4 qualities that truly make a match, all of which Michael demonstrates on a daily basis. 1. Helping others. Be it volunteering or hot solo or offering to help someone in need, Michael is always extending a hand. 2. Do the right thing the right way, meaning without fanfare. Now we know Michael loves being in the press, but he does much more to help others that he keeps to himself. 3. Be a peacemaker. Judaism asks us not only to be kind to others, but to do so even when we really, really don't want to. We have all seen Michael help those that common sense tells us not to, but he does so because he strives to a higher standard than most people. 4. Be a better person. Michael and I talk about this often. How can we be a better father, husband, brother, friend, and person? It's something he strives for on a daily basis. Some days it works and some days it doesn't, but he always tries. I was fortunate to watch his love affair with Amy begin while they were in law school, and honestly, it was a little like watching a stalker in action, but it obviously all worked out. He is completely devoted to his family. His children are the light of his life, and watching Raquel, Josh, Lauren, and Jacqueline is his joy. Needless to say, his biggest honor in life is to follow in the footsteps of his father, Leon, not only as lawyer, but as a family man and a mensch. No one takes the 5th commandment to honor thy mother and father any more to heart than Michael. And he has extended that to include Amy's parents, Bob and Susan Mester, and Leon's wife, Alice, who I know works with Amy to organize this wonderful evening. I'm fortunate to have shared many life moments, both good and bad, with him, but having him as my dear friend makes the bad not so bad and the good even better. He is more a brother than a friend. Happy birthday, Michael. Looking forward to celebrating another 50 with you. David said it.
For those who don't know me, I'm Josh Miles, currently a junior at the Sisson School of Business at Yeshiva University. I'm probably the only 20-year-old aspiring immigration lawyer that you guys will ever meet. But seriously, it's a real privilege and a real honor for me to be standing in front of some of the many people that my father has been able to inspire and touch. Just say a few quick words before I introduce the first speaker. The relationship my dad and I go way beyond that of a father and son. Not only has he been my best friend throughout my entire life, there we go, but he has been my teacher as well. He taught me the essentials and the basics when I was younger, like how to walk, how to talk, how to shoot basketball, and so on. But through examples, I've been very fortunate to learn many other things as well, including what it means to give, what it means to help, what it means to be a good person, what it means to be a good Jew, what it means to live, and ultimately what it means to love. So for that, and many, many more, I'm forever thankful. So happy birthday, Dad. My older, beautiful, funny, charismatic, single, seriously, she's being an older child. She has a very untouchable relationship with my father, so her please come up.
Okay, so I could tell you guys about the time that my dad went with me on a midnight run to give out, food, toiletries, etc. to homeless people during the winter nights, on New York City streets. But that would be just to, keep rounding off of his great accomplishments. And instead, I decided to share with you a little poem that I wrote for his birthday. Okay. We're gathered here today to celebrate a very special man, Facebook addict,
preeminent lawyer and Elvis's biggest fan. To some he is known as mayor, professor, or esquire, but I am lucky enough to call him sire. When I was born, the prototype, my lady parts freaked him out. So much so that he joined Hunsella in case any emergency came about. He tortured me as a child, waking me up from my deepest sleep. After showing me off to all of his friends, he decided I was for keeps. He gave me a pink rose every Shabbos for the first year of my life, and he tells me not to have a second helping of dessert if I ever want to become a wife. Remember the time that boy knocked on the door? You asked him for his political affiliations and oh so much more. I've learned the hard way to beware when taking a picture with you by my side, but I am comforted by the fact that every smile and hug is bona fide. During every consultation, you give them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Despite the fact that you always repeat your jokes, you're actually pretty funny. When facts come to calling, you're always ready to put up a fight, never caring what they say about you as long as they spell your name right. Up all hours of the night, I get that from you. Sleep is for the weak, or people who aren't glued to the TV like us do. I'll be the viceroy since you are the supreme omelet king, so thankful and proud to be your daughter, and not just for the bling. You are my father, my mentor, my role model. You really do it all. A true Energizer bunny, you never falter or fall. So on this November 27th, 2014, let's put our hands together for Michael J. Wiles, the thick-set, intense, life-saving, people-pleasing, immigration-fighting machine. On this very special birthday, you're 50 years old. Almost time for a replacement pick. Pick, hooray!
Alright, for our next speaker, I would like to call upon my uncle, Rabbi Mark Wiles. He has not only been my dad's best friend since day one, but he really has been an inspiration to every single person that he meets. I'm very, very lucky to have you as a mentor in my life, so Rabbi Mark Wiles, please.
Oh, I waited many years for this. I was going to begin by recounting something that my Uncle Jerry was here tonight, said at my father's 50th. And I remember, I was 15 years old. My uncle got up and said that although my brother, referring to my dad, has perhaps become a little more prominent, famous than I in his field, I've never felt any jealousy, and I've only had admiration. And I was going to start off my remarks tonight by saying the exact same thing, but because I've become so much more important and prominent than you, I didn't know what to do. I want to thank you for training me how to take a beating. And there are a few people that can withstand the kind of impact, physical impact. After many years of being a punching bag, Michael developed his physique through the adolescent years to his young adulthood, and I thank you for that. But I have 2 minutes, so I'm going to make it quick. I really want to say thank you. I want to express my sincere regards to you, Michael. Everybody here knows what an incredible, accomplished professional Michael is. You can ask him. Everybody knows how accomplished Michael is as a politician, as a lawyer, how devoted he is to his 4 benign, beautiful children. What an incredible husband he is to his very patient and beautiful wife. And what an incredible son he is to our beloved father. And as said before, his kibbud av is unparalleled. But to me, Michael, you're the greatest brother that any person in the world could ever have. I've had, since I came into this world, someone who's had my back. And I don't know how many people can boast of being able to have the zechut of someone who truly cares and loves you and is always there for you no matter what. I know you told me no Torah, but what are you going to do? But you epitomize, Michael, Yehuda, who was just born in this parsha, who was the one that stood out from all the brothers when his youngest brother, Benjamin, was taken captive by the most powerful person in the world, Paro. And Paro put him in jail, and Yehuda stepped forward, and he said, Ki avdecha arav et hana mi adoni. I am taking responsibility for him. He looked at Paro and said, I don't care how important and how powerful you are. He's my brother, and I'm not leaving here without him. Thank you, Michael, for being such an extraordinary role model and mentor, and someone who truly cares. Mom, Zichrono Livracha, would have been very, very proud of the way you look out for me and the way you look out for your beautiful family, for everyone, our extended, beautiful family, and all of your friends who are all here tonight to say thank you and to express the Karas Tov to you, to tell you how much we love you. Happy birthday, Michael. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Uncle Mark. For our next speaker, it's an honor for me to call upon someone we are very fortunate for only living a few blocks away from. Every time he comes over, it's not just with wisdom and advice, but it's with a loving embrace and nothing but good wishes. Whenever anything, and ice cream, that's true. Whenever we need anything, whether it's good or bad, he's always the first one there. So I'd like to call upon my mother's father, my grandfather, Robert Messer.
Actually, I'm the sewer at your house. I thought I'd tell you something about Michael from the time I first met him. I don't have the jokes like these guys do because I wasn't part of the original family. But when Amy and Michael were dating, Amy was in the neighborhood of my office and brought Michael up to meet me. And I was really impressed. And I only spoke to him for a few minutes, but when he left, I right away called Susan and said, well, I met Amy's friend Michael, you're going to like him, and he even reminds you a bit of John F. Kennedy. Proceeded from there. Everybody knows that Michael, the Solar ambulance driver and the CNN and Fox News personality and Professor Ricardo's, and then he helps everybody. But I want to give you an example that I'm sure nobody here knows about how he really helps and how he really feels. We were on a family cruise, and an announcement came over the loudspeaker that there was a sick person in the infirmary who probably wouldn't live unless he had a blood transfusion of a certain type of blood which Michael had. Michael went down to the infirmary and gave the blood, as did Michael at last week, but Michael had a certificate that he gives blood regularly, so they decided to use his blood since they knew that he was a certified donor. So he gave the blood, and afterwards, and they gave a transfusion, and afterwards, the wife came to Michael and said to him, Michael, you saved my husband's life.
Nothing matters more than where we come from, who we are, where we're going. Nothing matters more than our family, our friends, and our people. Nothing matters more than being a good person and helping out and doing as much as you can for the society that we live in. But it's really important to know where my father gets these attributes from. You know, a lot of people, they use the term like father, like son. And I'm very, very privileged to call upon my Zadie to share a few words, because it's very, very evident where my dad gets his characteristics from. And just in case it wasn't hard enough for me to fill the shoes of my family already, Zadie, please come up.
There are a lot of stories that I could tell about the special occasions that we had in raising Michael. He is truly a very unusual and special person. When I had him in my class, and I taught immigration law at Cardozo for 33 years, I felt I had someone in the class who was perhaps going to be my very best student. Our relationship has grown over those years beyond the usual father and son relationship. And you have indeed inspired our entire staff, the whole law firm, in doing our work to the highest level we can achieve. What we have, you and I, Michael, in practicing together is an unusually wonderful feeling for a father. The love that I feel on an individual, everyday basis, emanating from the next office, sometimes from New Jersey and sometimes from Miami, when the offices you have established for our firm. I have an immense feeling of gratitude for the love and admiration that you give me, and which I hope to return to you for many years to come. Happy birthday.
Dad, Amy, everybody here assembled, thank you so much for coming. All kidding aside, this means more to me than anything and everything that has accomplished through the last few years. To see a snapshot from the U.S. Attorney's Office, to my mayoralty, to my Hatzalah years, to elementary school and college, and to see these beautiful children, these diamonds, just growing so beautifully, so naturally, and thank God they look like their mother. Thanks everyone for being here. My better half, Amy.
Woo!
You should know, my father's 50th birthday was 31 years ago at Windows on the World. There is no more windows on the world. Brick nor mortar stands, but everybody that's assembled here in love and in our tradition remains. Every birthday has common parties, cakes, gifts. Every birthday means something to somebody else. The gifts and the parties and the presents, spelled E-N-C-E, are the people that are assembled here today. My brother said that at his bar mitzvah. You are a member of my extended families for your extraordinary friendships, your hakaras hatov. As my brother said, if you even look at the truck, I think in Parshas Vayigash, it says Kadma V'Yazla Revi'i. Those are the truck tunes. The fourth son got up and came forward. It's a measure of love. Mom used to say when I put my arm around you, that I did it naturally. She didn't have to worry about you. And we're together now without Mom. But we're together with a beautiful, extraordinary legacy and family, 4 children to each of us in her tradition. Today, my gifts in life for everybody that's seated here. I too want to thank Alice for what she did in putting this together with Amy. Such class, I feel a special kinship to you in our family too, and a very special time in our lives to have you in it. I thank Mark for your grace and your commentary, what you've done for our community, and Jill. It is an expansive Shabbos table that we grew up with in our community, and you can only imagine the 160, 170 couples that have met under your tent, and the beautiful tables that they're developing in their own lives. I want to thank my in-laws, Mom and Dad, your dedication, your consistent love. You're fixing everything in our household. You're truly very special people. I don't know how many people can actually say that they love their in-laws. And you're actually not only welcome in our home, but you've become respected parental figures with opinions in our home. But in thinking about the 50, I have to tell you that I'm most blessed by having that very special wife. Those stunning children, Raquel, Josh, Lauren, Ruth, and Jacqueline. A wife I truly revere and love, the greatest gift a 50-year-old could afford. I have 3 daughters and a healthy son, whose eyes I see the character and the decency that gives the serenity in knowing that I gave more than we took from this world. And as I look at those 4 children, and I look at your mom, I know that I can love nobody more than I possibly can. And that every effort, every email, every hour, every challenge, every pro bono case, every matter that we can assemble to help is in your skos, in your privilege. This lesson I learned from my mother. I wish you were here tonight. Why? Because I know that she would have been deeply touched by my brother and I, who have come to view my father with the same reverence and love that we have always seen him. That is not to undermine the greatest gift my father has in Alice now, because I believe Mark and I join Alice in knowing that the greatest gift in our collective lives is my father, Leon Wilds. Modest to a fault, smarter than anyone I know, and I know many. I get a hug and a kiss for the last 20 years when I come into my office. The rest of the day is gravy. I could be sweeping a store. I could do anything what I was told that I had to do, but I know my dad is next door. Principled character, yet tolerantly respectful of others as their fault, with unbending strength and standing for those principles. He has had the greatest impact on my growth and on my children as a man. He's the only man that I can say that I honestly view with reverence. And I thank you, Father, for what you've given me by that relationship that you described. I would never be able to return that to you. But I return this by giving you my deepest love and honor as well. Too many of you are here to point out individually. You stand for somebody important enough, not just because you're a friend of my wife and the husband I go out to with movies, but because you in your own right have been there through good and bad, through all the trials and tribulations and the simchot that we dance. I can tell you that the greatest pearl that I will have will be these relationships. And I've been reminded from a young age in my community when I joined the Chevra Kadisha at 14 years old, that there are no pockets when they put us down. And what we take from us, what we take together, are the meaningful impacts that we have on one another's lives.